Yo, what's up guys? Coach Nate, owner at Steel Strength Training. Look, I've been helping everyday men and women lose fat for the last 10 years. We've helped close to 1,000 everyday men and women, and from that, I have learned a lot about what the fat loss journey looks like. So today we're going to talk about the perfect fat loss journey. Now, perfect, I'm not saying there's actually a perfect way to lose fat, but here's what I mean. What I mean is, let's assume that somebody's gonna lose 50 pounds. Let's call it, they're gonna go from 200 pounds to 150 pounds over the course of 24 months. Now, a lot of you guys are gonna be like, oh, that's super slow. I wanna lose it in 12 months. I wanna lose it in 6. Well, there's a couple points that I'd like to make about that. Look, this process could take 12 months. It could take 48 months or anywhere in between. You might even do it faster than 12 months. That's not the point. So when I say perfect, this just means that whatever calorie deficit you are at, you maintain that the whole way. So let's just assume, and this video is just to help you understand the concept of what's going on when you're losing fat, what's actually going on with your body, and what's going on with the scale. Because they are similar, but they're not the same thing. And I think the scale is a very important tool. We should use it. Don't let it scare you off or stress you out, but you have to understand it, because if you live or die by the number you see on the scale every day, you're gonna drive yourself absolutely mad, absolutely bonkers. But if we can take the scale as a piece of data, then it's helpful, all right? So let's assume that you got something that's 200 pounds. Now the red line is what's going to be the true fat loss, the true amount of fat lost, and the dotted black line is what the scale shows. And we're gonna assume they've been maintaining this weight of 200 pounds for a month or something like that. And then they start their fat loss journey. Okay, so what's gonna happen, and this assumes, again, the assumption here is that they're eating the same amount of calories and they're doing the same amount of activity every single day, all right? Which if somebody did that and they were in the proper calorie deficit, right, we knew it was gonna help them lose half a pound, pound and a half, whatever it is per week, then you should be able to ride that wave for a long time. All right, so assuming perfect just means consistent. All right, so as they're losing fat, all right, once they start dieting from day 1 to day 300, well, I guess that'd be 730, something like that. All right, from day 1 to the end of the 24 months, they are losing the exact same amount of fat every single day. It doesn't matter what the scale says. If they are in that same calorie deficit, same amount of calories burned per day, same amount of food intake, they are losing the same amount of fat every single day. If their behavior is the same, fat loss is perfectly linear. I'll say that again. If their behavior is the same, fat loss is perfectly linear. And yes, if you've lost a tremendous amount of fat, you may have to bump your calories down a little bit or increase your activity level, but those adaptations are not nearly as severe as most people talk about them, okay? You cannot, it's not like you'll be losing fat consistently for 3 months and then bam, you hit a wall. No, something else is going on there. So fat loss, true fat loss is straight up, it is linear, losing the same amount of fat every single day. But the scale, and we all know this, the scale is going to do crazy stuff. So initially, when you first start, I don't know if I made this as dramatic as I should have, but when you first start, there's going to be a very big drop. When you first start, there's going to be a very big drop. Some of that is fat and some of it is water weight. The fat loss, again, it's slow and steady the whole way down. It's consistent, but you're going to see a big drop on the scale. And that's because, yes, you're losing some fat, but you're also you're eating less sodium, which causes you to retain water. You're eating fewer carbohydrates, that causes you to retain water. And generally, people eat healthier foods, which causes less bloating, water retention. And so due to all those factors, like your weight goes down pretty fast. Whatever your weight is after, a week or two, when you first start a diet, that is your new baseline. That's your new baseline weight. And then from there, we should see an average over the course of 3 to 4 weeks at a time. The average amount of weight that you lose every 3 to 4 weeks should be very consistent. But the amount that you lose, certainly day to day, but even week to week, is going to vary. It's not uncommon to be up, to be down, to be way up. to maintain a weight for 2, sometimes even 3 weeks, and then boom, you wake up, you weigh again week 4 and they're down 3, 4, 5, 6 pounds. That's not uncommon at all, okay? Every single client we have that is losing fat, we see this. We see this happen every single time that someone is losing fat. So, you want to get set up with a plan, a calorie deficit that you know is going to get you results, all right? If you're working with an expert personal trainer like us at Steel, we'll be able to help you with that. But as long as you're getting that set up, you can be 110% confident that you're going to lose fat as long as you maintain that behavior day in and day out, okay? So here's what I tell people when it comes to the scale. Take your weight every single day, and as long as you hit a new low every 14 days, you can know you're losing fat. But I would even say, look, even if it takes 21 to 28, those are extreme examples. Usually you'll hit a new low every 2 weeks, every 14 days. But even if it takes 21 to 28 days, as long as you're hitting a new low weight during that time, like, you can know you're making progress, not including, you've got a stomach bug, you're throwing up, anything like that, all right? Got stuff coming out the other end. That's not what I'm talking about, okay? But in terms of just you're healthy, everything is normal. As long as you're hitting a new low weight every 2 to 4 weeks, you're definitely making progress. We just want to track. When it comes to fat loss, you've got to spread out your time horizons, okay? I know you want to see the scale go down every single day. It's addicting to see that. It's exciting to see that when the goal is fat loss. But you've got to observe the scale, but detach. If you see, your scale's going up 5 pounds every week, we have major problems. Quit hitting up Mickey D's and the buffet down the road. But that's not happening, all right? So I can tell you with confidence, if you're in a calorie deficit, just stay consistent. Most people, they quit right here. They quit right here. They freak out because the scale's not moving. They saw a big drop in the beginning, which is exciting. It's water. It's not going to be that fast the whole time. And then, they get frustrated. They have 2 weeks where they stay the same, and then they just quit. When in reality, they were losing fat the entire time, assuming their behavior stayed consistent. They're losing fat the entire time, but because they are impatient, they never got to see the scale drop again, all right? So please, if you get anything from this, it's know that with 100% confidence, if you're in a calorie deficit, your fat loss is linear. You're losing the same amount of fat every single day. You just need to stay consistent. Let's use the scale. Let's observe it. If you're in a calorie deficit, or you think you're in a calorie deficit, but you've been stalled for a month, we probably need to adjust things. But other than that, keep going. It is not uncommon. We have helped so many clients lose 50 plus pounds, and it's not uncommon for them to weigh the same thing for 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks in a row, only to wake up the next week and they're down 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pounds, like crazy drops. This is not uncommon at all. All right, so stay the course. You're losing fat the whole time. All right, hope that helps.